What's poppin', yo? Welcome to episode 17 of my series on the 48 Laws of Power that Drake has decided to conveniently turn into a series as well. I cover a lesson in history from each chapter and relate it to something in hip hop or music, and today it's how Daylyt never loses a rap battle. If you're somehow unfamiliar with Daylyt, he's primarily a battle rapper, but became known to myself and many others who don't follow that scene from his DJ Vlad interviews where he's dressed as ridiculous characters or trolling damn near all of the time. If you like analysis videos on hip hop and the music business, then subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if you want to listen to the book for free, there's a link in the description. It also helps the channel out. Law 17 says, keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Humans are creatures of habit with an insatiable need to see familiarity in other people's actions. Your predictability gives them a sense of control. Turn the tables, be deliberately unpredictable. Behavior that seems to have no consistency or purpose will keep them off balance, and they will wear themselves out trying to explain your moves. Taken to an extreme, this strategy can intimidate and terrorize. The lesson we're going to cover is the World Championship chess match between Boris Spassky and Bobby Fischer. Boris Spassky was a Soviet chess grandmaster who was the world champion in 1969. And Bobby Fischer was an American who was a chess prodigy. At the age of 14, he became the U.S. chess champion, and at 15, he was the youngest grandmaster ever. In 1972, the World Championship of Chess was held in Reykjavik, Iceland, and keep in mind that Boris Spassky had already been world champion. The match was put on hold, though, because Fischer arrived late and voiced concerns about multiple different things, ranging from prize money, how that money was going to be handed out, issues with holding it in Iceland. It had people thinking he was going to back out of the tournament. The Russians felt like Fischer was making a mockery of Spassky, though, and the tournament, so they encouraged him to just step away. But he wouldn't. He wanted this game more than anything else because he knew that he would beat Fischer, and that was going to be the greatest win of his entire career. In games they had played with each other before, Fischer hadn't performed well against him. Spassky had this unique ability to read his opponent's strategy and use it against him. He was really patient and built his attacks that would end up defeating dozens of moves ahead. He had beat Fischer every time they played because he was able to see so much farther ahead and never lost control. This was the World Championship match, so things were different. But Fischer continuously threatened to quit, saying he didn't like the hall that the match was going to be held, complained about the lighting, complained about the chairs they were going to sit in. At this point, the Soviet Union threatened they would withdraw Spassky from the tournament, and this worked. After several weeks of negotiating and waiting, Fischer agreed to get the tournament started. It was a sigh of relief for all the fans. But on the day of the introductions to the tournament, Fischer would show up really late, and on the day of the match, he was very late again. If he showed up past the late time limit, he would forfeit the first game. People weren't sure if he was playing some mind game or he was actually scared of losing. This behavior was not normal for him. Fischer showed up exactly 1 minute before the match was canceled. The first game of a chess match is usually taken slow. Both players play cautiously and they try to get a feel for their opponent's strategy, but Fischer made arguably the worst move of his entire playing career in the early stages. And when he was on the defense, it looked like he gave up, which shocked Spassky because he studied Fischer. And he knew that he was never the kind to give up. Even when he was facing a checkmate, he would fight it until it was absolutely over. But this time, he looked defeated. But instantly, he made a bold move that shocked everyone in the room, including Spassky, but he was able to recover and take the victory for the first game. It was still a bizarre situation. Nobody knew if Fischer had intentionally threw the first game, was nervous, or some even thought he had lost his mind. Fischer, complaining once again about the room, cameras, and showing up late to the second game didn't help either. They were tired of it and gave him a forfeit this time. So he was down 0-2 now, which would be the equivalent of being down, let's say 0-3 in the NBA Finals. Nobody in a chess championship had ever come back from being down 2 games. In the third game, though, things changed. He had the eye of a predator with supreme confidence, and it bothered Spassky. He was down 2 games. He wasn't supposed to be confident. And once again, Fischer made a bad move early on like he did in the first game. But Spassky didn't capitalize on it because the cocky presence Fischer had had him thinking that it was a trap, but he couldn't figure out what the trap exactly was. And before he knew it, he was checkmated and lost the third game. And Fischer jumped out of his seat, yelling at the Soviets, "I'm crushing him with brute force." Did I forget to mention that the Soviets had dominated the chess world championship for the preceding 24 years? The next games, Fischer was pulling moves that nobody had ever seen or expected from him before. They were not his playstyle at all, and Spassky hadn't anticipated this and started to make mistakes. After losing his 6th game, he started crying, and after the 8th game, Spassky believed that Fischer had been hypnotizing him, so he decided not to look him in the eye, but he lost anyway. After the 14th game, Spassky called a conference and said that there was an attempt being made to control his mind and questioned if the orange juice they drank at the chess table was drugged or chemicals were blown into the air, and even accused Fischer's team of putting something in the chairs that was messing with Spassky's mind. The KGB had to come in. Spassky was embarrassing their country, and they took this very seriously. They took apart the chairs and x-rayed them. They found nothing in there. There was nothing found anywhere except 2 dead flies and a light. Spassky started telling them he was having hallucinations and couldn't keep playing even though he tried. It was over, and Bobby Fischer won. Like I mentioned earlier, Spassky was built to beat Fischer, and already had won against him multiple times. But Fischer knew what made Spassky so good, and it was his ability to use someone's predictability against them. Everything he did leading up to and during the match was to mess with Spassky's mind. The ridiculously long wait likely fatigued him, and the uncertainty of whether or not the match was going to happen amped up the already existing anticipation. The most lethal were the purposeful mistakes that Fischer made, appearing to have no clear strategy that Spassky could pick apart and predict. Fischer was shaking up his own style, even if it meant losing the first game. Spassky's reputation was built on how calm and collected he was, but this was the first time in his entire career he had no idea what his opponent was doing, and he slowly lost his mind until he started to look like the crazy one that tournament. How does this relate to Daylyt and his ability to win every battle as a battle rapper? Of course, he doesn't win every battle, and battle rap in general is not some sort of clear-cut winner like chess, and involves many different factors than just the words you're spitting, but your aura, confidence, crowd control, and ability to intimidate your opponent. But there's a reason why Daylyt is not only respected for his craft in that community despite his antics, but he's also transcended the niche of battle rap into being known by many people who aren't even into that scene, such as myself. One lead-up and performance of a battle Daylyt was in that we're going to talk about is his battle with 40 Bars on Queen of the Ring. Just like any other event or fight, they have to promote battles leading up to them, and this time it was during a DJ Vlad interview where they had Daylyt and 40 Bars face-to-face answering questions and showing a lot of mutual respect for each other's craft. She was asked about whether or not she had anything in mind that Daylyt was going to pull, and she said she knew he wouldn't come with just bars, and even admitted that he was a better performer. This is when Daylyt starts to sow different seeds of what he would potentially do in their battle, one of which was dressing up as a girl to make it a fair battle, another being really in her face with bad breath, one being getting on his knees and rapping to her, and also giving her a kiss during the battle. He even told her the plan that he was going to use on her during the battle, which she was hesitant to believe at first, but he even let her know that the last time he told the interview what he was going to do during the battle, it was exactly what he did.
But crucify him, but it'd be worse.
If I battle you and I'm dressed like a girl, then that's girl on girl.
No, it's going to be man dressed like girl on grown-ass woman. It's not going to be that.
But I have to make it fair.
Clothes don't make it fair.
Yeah, dude.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Versus Philly Swing?
Yeah, I did.
What if I'm on you like that?
Norma Bates was on me like that. If you're a lady and she's a lady, it makes no difference.
My lips was like rubbing the hair on his face.
That means nothing to me.
Are you going to be scared?
No. What are you going to do to me?
What am I breath saying?
I'll just hold my breath.
For 3 minutes?
I can swim, so maybe about a minute and a half I can hold my breath.
So what happens the other 3?
I'm just going to turn away and hope you get the fuck out my face.
Keep coming, like, wherever you turn.
Yeah, so that shit doesn't bother me. Nothing that you do is going to bother me. As long as you don't physically strike me.
I won't.
No, I don't think you would, but Nothing that, anything you would do is your proximity to me, all
So
that
what
shit
if I
doesn't
get on
matter.
my knees and rap to your
I don't know.
I
Might bust it open and watch you.
gotta talk to this then just like get on my knees and just talk right to it. Like, first of all, you need.
Well, 40, it seems as though Daylyt is willing to go the extra mile to play on the sexual aspect of the battle.
What would you do if I'm rapping, talking to you, boom, 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 kiss you on the lips?
You're gonna have to beat me up. I'm gonna probably hit you.
What if and you can hit me and I just lay on the ground and cry?
It'd be a good world star moment for me. I'm gonna win too. As much as you win in this battle, I'm gonna win.
So if I do gimmicks, you're gonna participate in it?
Why not? I'm gonna win. I'm not
That's what I
stupid.
want.
That's where everybody else f***s up.
That's
I'm
what
not
I
gonna
want.
lay down and let your gimmick roll over me. I'm gonna incorporate that
So
shit
if
into
I
my
lay
performance
down
as
on
well.
the
So
ground-
we're both gonna be shiny.
Well, Daylyt, do you feel at all like there's any pressure going up against a girl that if you do walk away with people saying you took the L?
This was really clever by Daylyt because he was gauging her reaction to all of the different scenarios he mentioned in their interview. Of course, her response in words to each of them didn't give too much, but beyond that, you can see her body language and reaction and tone to each of the different possible scenarios. And this let him know which would be most effective to use against her, and also what wouldn't bother her at all, which would be a waste to even try. Not only that though, but this meant that 40 Bars had a lot more to worry about now. Not only does she have to prepare her bars and come to the battle ready for that, but she also had to give a solid performance and worry about which stunt Daylyt was going to pull from all the ones he mentioned already, and maybe one or two he didn't even say, which is a mental load she had to carry going on there. Meanwhile, all Daylyt really had to do was prepare for the battle and choose what he's going to do. But there's nothing unexpected that's going to come from 40 Bar's side, which is less weight that Daylyt had to carry when he's preparing for a battle. It's a ridiculously unfair advantage, and when it came down to the battle, what he ended up doing towards the end of the battle was pulling his meat out, which caused quite the reaction. And not only that, after the battle he was interviewed and he had exactly this to say.
Well, do you think that you doing that kind of a race what 40 did?
40 got her shit erased. There was not one post online that said anything about her. And she was looking very sexy that night and still got her shit erased. I erase people, man. That's what I do best. She got erased. It's not even the people, was 40 there? Did she show up?
I don't think so.
She didn't show up, no. Yeah. She didn't show up.
People's thoughts were fairly split, and many thought Daylyt lost that battle 2 rounds to 1. But he was able to turn the entire narrative into just talking about what he did, that nobody was even discussing 40 Bar's performance, which may have been intentional. He likely said that this was a split decision or very close because he pulled this move towards the end of the battle. But regardless, that's what everyone talked about after their battle. He won and silenced any talk about her. There was also another battle against Interstate Fats where Daylyt dressed up as Jesus in a KKK outfit, and you can imagine how uncomfortable this made a white battle rapper who is probably feeling a ton of white guilt being in both a battle rap environment and having to attack someone dressed like that. It's psychological warfare with Daylyt, not just a gimmick or rap battle. When asked about it in an interview, Daylyt had this to say. I'm going to tell you the whole story of that, the honest story of that. So big ups to my boy UGK. He's like my right-hand man, big Batmobile. Anywho, so he has a video online called Fly. This song is about him having a walk with Jesus or whatever, him and Jesus playing basketball and all types of stuff. So, I had to play Jesus in the footage or whatever. So we had the costume, which was the robes. We had the robe. We had the wig. We had all that stuff already. Just the whole Jesus costume. Boom. So, a couple days before the battle, we're in the living room going over ideas, and the costume fell out the bag. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the costume. He looks at me and is like, you better not. And I'm like, what? And he says, nigga, you better not think about it. And I'm like, what you talking about, man? Because he knows me to the level. All you do is make eye contact, and he knows what the hell I'm about to do. So he's like, you better not. Don't even think about it. And I'm like, what, man? He's like, I know what you're thinking. And I said, what? And he said, you're going to wear the Jesus costume. I said, you're damn right I am. When asked the reason why he decided to do so, I don't believe he really gave the entire true reason. But what he said was, so I went in there, I put it on, I said, how would this look if I'm battling? He was like, I don't know, nigga. This kind of looked like disrespectful to Christians. I'm like, man, well, I got something. When he said it looked disrespectful, I said, I got something even more bigger than that. He said, what? I said, I'm about to go KKK on them on top of this. He said, nigga, what are you trying to do? And I said, I don't know. I just want people to hate me because hate goes very far. Boom, hate. I come up with the KKK hat. I cut a little pillowcase. I put the little birthday cone inside of it so it can stand up. Boom, now I got the KKK hat. I try it on, and then I say, okay, why am I wearing this? What would be the point of me wearing this? Boom, I got it now. I got it. If somebody asked me, why did you do that? My moral of this would be, in battle rap, is gun, gun, kill, kill, pow, pow, clap, clap, clap. In all actuality, it turns out to look like black on black crime. That's what it looks like in all actuality. Two black niggas in a ring talking about how they're going to shoot each other or kill each other. That's perfect, all right. So what I want to do is, I want this to look like white on white crime now. This is going to look like white on white crime. You have a white guy by the name of Fats who is saying how he's going to kill another Klan member. This is dope. This is looking very dope to me. We need some more white on white crime in this world. So yeah, let's have another white guy talk about how he's going to kill another Klan member. So that whole moral of the KKK outfit, it was deeper than just battle rap itself. And if there's one thing for certain when it comes to Daylyt, it's his unpredictability. That sets him apart from anyone else in battle rap, or even rap as a whole. On your screen will be a playlist for the rest of the episodes in this series that you should check out, and I'll see you there.